Well, good morning. Yeah, good morning. It's me, Sandy Shellis. I am under duress. Welcome to Environmental Coffee House. It's just been one of those mornings. I burned my hand because I left the tea kettle on the stove and forgot about it until I smelled it. Went out there, tried to put more water in it, and the steam burnt my hand, but I'm okay. It's just been one of those mornings. I overslept. The sick cat had to be taken care of. It's just a pajama Sunday. These are pajamas. I hope you're all in your pajamas. And if you're not, it doesn't matter. You're with me. So welcome. hmm It's good to see you guys. It's good to see Global High Stale and Early Love. Flushes to all. Hi, BB, Tomcat. All right. So, Alex, good morning. Good morning. So, I'm starting out with the fire because, as you probably heard, hello, Kelly, Long Island, which is the tip of Long Island, Suffolk County, was on fire. Yes, it was. And it was due to dry conditions. It's happened before, 4 years ago, but it's the same thing. You know, we go through these climate changes that, well, I don't know who understands it. And I hope there's no cat in here. No, no cat. Things just falling down. It would be my luck that one of the cats would be in here and pull all the papers, all the wires down, but because that's the kind of morning it is. But good morning, Dog Dude and Kelly and Anti-Corporatist and Veg. It's great to see all of you. I hope this is set. I set this. I didn't even check, I didn't even check that to make sure. I've got to do something really quick and make sure that this is not set for just members because I have to make sure. I have to make sure. I did that yesterday. Okay, so this is for public. Good, good, good. My gosh, like I said, it's been one of those mornings. Holy crap. But at least I didn't burn myself too bad. Thankfully, God. That would have really sucked. Okay. All right. So I think I've got this set and it's public. Yeah. All right. All right. All right. All right. So just hang on. Hang on. Hang on. Okay. Okay. So we're going to talk about FEMA. We're going to talk about the EPA. Good morning, Susan. Good morning, Linda. It's so good to see all of you. But we're going to talk about the EPA. We're going to talk about FEMA. We're going to read something that Nicholas Humphrey, meteorologist, PhD candidate, who is part of our channel, wrote. And we've been doing private chats back and forth, and nothing is lost on Nicholas. Hopefully, he'll be able to come with me soon to talk about all of the things that are affecting him as he is a PhD student in disaster management. And wow, shit's happening. We're also going to talk about Stacey Abrams and the bullshit that's going on with the orange turd actually calling her out for fake news, fake stuff, and the racism involved. It's really pretty awful. Hi, Foggy. Boy, you're all joining. This is great. This is really great. Okay. So let's start because I have a lot of stuff to get to and I have a million things to do today. I have to actually go out today and go to this little store that I have stuff in. And I have to clean up, put some stuff in there. I'm having surgery Tuesday, so there's just a lot happening for me. I want to start with this story. Let me get over here. And sorry. All right. So I want to start with this story, which is crews continuing to battle the massive wind whip brush fires in Suffolk County, now 80% contained. And this was today, 9:14 a.m. And they called them massive wind whipped raging across Long Island's Pine Barrens, which is really sad because Long Island's Pine Barrens are just beautiful. And we don't know exactly how it started. We'll see. But 100 different fire departments from both Nassau and Suffolk County and the National Guard battled those flames from brush fires that started around 1 o'clock Saturday along the Sunrise Highway and continued to burn in the evening. And everybody that lives in New York, at least, knew that there were fire warnings in many parts of the state from drought, from very, very dry air, very low humidity. And they had 3 or 4 of the brush fires have been put out. The largest one is 80% contained. According to West Hampton Beach, Second Assistant Fire Chief Lewis Scott, all the roads have since reopened and officials hope to fully contain the flames today. So that's good. Obviously, they didn't hit any of the very wealthy homes like LA in the Hamptons. Although, as you know, the climate changing and all of the things that happen as a result of human created climate change is going to hit everybody. It doesn't discriminate. Only the orange turd and his administration discriminate. So this is what it looked like. It was high winds and low humidity. And I don't know if this, let's see if this will play.
First, we continue to follow breaking news.
It's pretty long. I'm not going to play the whole thing.
Multiple wildfires break out in Suffolk County, fueled by high winds. The flames not completely under control until tomorrow.
We are very concerned about the overnight and the increase of winds again tomorrow. This could be a multi-day event.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Tanya Rivero.
And I'm Joe Torres. These are some of the seemingly apocalyptic images from wildfires that started about 1 o'clock in the afternoon in Suffolk County. They continue to burn 10 hours later.
The first fire broke out in Center Moriches and spread all the way to West Hampton. Tonight, we know Sunrise Highway has been reopened in the area. We also know that 2 structures have burned and 1 firefighter was hospitalized with burns to the face.
Jeff Smith will have more on the winds and the brush fire risk for the entire area, but we begin tonight with Stacey Sager. She is in the fire zone. Stacey?
Well, Joe, you know, the weather was dry today and the wind was so strong and it fueled these fires very quickly. And we say fires because there were 4 of them from Center Moriches.
All right, let's see. Yeah, that's what I want to see.
Smoke everywhere.
Look at this.
27 eastbound's on fire. All the way into the woods.
All the way.
Video time-stamped at 1:04
Look at that.
p.m. right when the brush fires began. Patty Lucci had been driving along Sunrise Highway and ventured into the woods because she's a retired police officer and was worried a car had veered off the road and caught fire. But she realized within minutes what this really was.
And it's jumping trees at this point, and it's moving pretty fast.
Yeah, it
Humans
was
were
pretty
insane.
scary for them.
I got a point where I had to actually walk backwards away from the smoke.
I
As
love
it was coming
New
towards me
York.
because I couldn't breathe.
Authorities say the area involved stretched 3 miles long by 1 mile wide.
All right, let's see anything else. All right, we don't want to hear
Nearly
these
100
guys.
different fire departments.
Okay, so
and
actually
EMS
that's what's happening. And our governor, I live in New York, Governor Kathy Hochul declared a state of emergency in the town of Southampton and Suffolk, which interestingly enough is where Lee Zeldin, the EPA head that has been put in charge to dismantle the EPA, was the congressman for. So I'm just wondering, what does he think of all this, right? And we will move on because the fires happen. It's a thing. It sure is. Yep, it sure does look like America is getting great again. I mean, these did happen 4 years ago. We don't know if it started by it's March. It's freezing. Are people, are they camping? But the conditions were ripe. Any clueless moron could have started it. A cigarette thrown out of a car window, which people still do. Yeah, and you know what? I am in hell this morning. My whole freaking life felt like it was hell this morning. But I made it. I made a mistake and I didn't set up everything yesterday. So yes, and I have a nicer background too. So we're just going to do the fires because this is what we're talking about. So we're going to move on now to FEMA. And we're going to talk about the federal funding cuts lead FEMA to cancel classes at the National Fire Academy. Isn't that lovely? So this is what's happening in FEMA. The preeminent, with all the fires going on. I mean, the irony is just, it's not lost on me. It really isn't. It's just crazy. Country's preeminent federal fire training agency canceled classes effective immediately on Saturday amid the ongoing flurry of funding freezes, staffing cuts by the Orange Turds administration. FEMA announced the National Fire Academy courses were canceled amid a process of evaluating agency programs and spending to ensure alignment with their fascist priorities, according to a notice sent to instructors, students, and fire departments. Don't you think that this could have been done differently? They don't need to cancel these things. Everything that is being done by the Department of Greedy Elites is so ass backwards. And as the person I was in my job, I would never just cancel something as important as this. I would evaluate as the trainings are going on and have the kind of staff that would have the experience to evaluate, not cancel. That's how you do it. But I think they don't care because they're not smart. Not one bit. So firefighters, EMS providers, and other first responders from across the country traveled to the NFA's Maryland campus for federally funded institutions' free training programs. The NFA is a powerhouse for fire service, said Mark Bashore, a former Maryland chief and West Virginia emergency services director with 44 years of safety experience. It's not nice to have. It's not a nice to have. It is the one avenue we have to bring people from all over the country to learn from and with each other. If we want to continue to have one of the premier fire services in the world, we need to have the National Fire Academy. And it also houses the National Fallen Firefighters Memorial. But oh my gosh, is there any mention of the word gay? It's the National Fallen Firefighters Memorial. Oh my God, is there any DEA involved? Holy shit. Holy shit. Yeah. So they didn't do it right. They had made their plane and travel reservations, and all of a sudden they got an email. Yep, sorry, it's canceled. It's not how you do things, folks, which is what I've explained to you. You never do that. You get qualified evaluators, and this just makes me so mad. You know, you see me one way, but I really was a professional in my work life, and I would never have done anything like this. What are you saying? I have to know what Kelly. Favor, when full screen with you, please take a second to look off blankly with the cup in the hand. It would make a great "this is fine" meme. You mean looking like, huh? Is that what you want? You want to make a meme with me? Okay, wait. What? I can make all kinds of faces. Huh? You'll catch it. I think you're funny, Kelly. And don't forget, Kelly has his own channel. And he's building it. He's doing well. So anyway, FEMA and the National Fire Academy did not immediately respond to requests for comment. While surveying disaster zones in California in January, Trump said he was considering getting rid of FEMA altogether, previewing sweeping changes to the National Organization of Responding to Disasters. Firings at the U.S. Forest Service on the heels of the deadly California blaze also sparked outcry amongst discharged workers and officials who said it would mean fewer people and less resources. So that's what we're looking at. We are looking at less resources. That's basically what's happening here. Here, Kelly, let me give you one. Like, what? That's like wait, what? Yeah, like I need coffee. Like I need so much coffee. I know we're going to talk about the NOAA. Where's everybody this morning? Come on, wake up. It's 11 o'clock. Hey, the devil's therapist. Welcome from Germany to see how screwed up we are. And I'm going to move on to Nicholas, meteorologist Nicholas Humphrey, who has been with our channel since 2017, I believe. And we've watched him grow and change and do so well. And now with all of this, it is so disheartening because we were hoping he would get a job with the federal government. He's a disaster management specialist. And these disasters are not going to stop. They're going to be a lot worse. So let me read to you what he wrote. He says, I see in a lot of comment sections news stories about job losses in the U.S. National Weather Service and the NOAA. Obvious supporters of the current administration saying the alleged effects are all fear-mongering, right? Fear-mongering. Only the worst people were terminated, and that the forecasts aren't that important. These, of course, they're nonsensical lies. I've come to the conclusion that less educated people will do anything and everything to deny the reality in front of their face. Like climate change denial, we're entering a period of FAFO when it comes to even forecasting for weather events. People who do not appreciate what meteorologists do for them and society every single day are going to figure out really quickly the negative effects of downsizing and dismantling an already thinly staffed agency tasked with forecasting and interpreting weather data with modeling. Severe weather and hurricane seasons from here on out will be thrilling. Thank you, Nicholas. He's got a good Facebook page, but he's been lately on Twitter because to get, like I said, I really don't like it. I like Blue Sky. I'd like to see Nicholas on Blue Sky. And we will be coming. I'm taking a break for a second to tell you. I am trying to stop using It's a filler. And what that word does is it just fills space, and I hate it. So I'm working on it. So if anybody ever wants to remind me, I don't want filler space in my language. Just to let you know, we think about these things. So he's got a nice Facebook if you're still on FaceCrack, but another one. He posted about the layoffs of the 800 NOAA employees last week will hamstring the agency's fleet of hurricane research aircraft. And that's really important. The threat level is the NOAA aircraft of specialized equipment that the Air Force's hurricane hunters lack. So basically, you see, Nicholas is bringing all of this to attention, and I think he's wonderful. He's even talking about the Arctic sea ice extent. Nicholas is one of our brightest lights on the planet. He really is. And, right? Where are you? Who does not love surprise tornadoes, hurricanes, and rainstorms? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So I just wanted to show you that. He also has a Patreon. He'll be back with us. He's going to have his emergency management PhD soon. But who knows what's going to happen? Is he going to have to work for a private company? And you know how the discussion has been on these private companies. It's going to cost a fortune. For me even, I want to have accurate weather. And if and somebody like Ryan Hall or Max Velocity, they get the weather, but they use the NOAA. And I told you last time I was talking about Joe and Joe's weather show, the old time New York weathermen that are weather persons, weather whatever, that are so upset over all of this. Who wouldn't be? Who wouldn't be? So it's just awful. So let's move on. I want to show you, we're going to move on to the EPA. And let me make sure that this is loud enough, because this is an interesting little ditty with Senator Whitehouse grilling Project 2025 contributor, a person that was definitely involved in, involved in the change of the FAA. So let's listen, the EPA. So let's listen to what Senator Whitehouse has to say.
Do you swear the testimony you're about to give to this committee is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I hope it's
so
loud
help you God?
enough.
A few moments later.
Well, let's go back to your work for Project 2025. Do you have, or did they have, any record of the advice that you gave?
I am not aware of any records they may have. I was a volunteer, and I do not have any records myself.
You have no notes? You have no
said,
memos?
too.
Nothing was in writing and all of this?
I have no records, Senator.
Is that because you had records and you've gotten rid of them, or were there never any records?
Senator, I have no records.
That doesn't answer the question.
Don't we love
Is
him?
the reason you have no records because you got rid of your records of your engagement with Project 2025?
Senator, as a private organization, I'm not sure what their record-keeping policies were or are, but I do not have any records.
Ash
Did
Wednesday,
you submit
see it on
anything
his
in writing
head.
to them at any point?
Such a
Did
good
you ever
Christian.
have records?
Yeah, such a good Christian.
You, not them, you.
Senator, I provided advice to Project 2025.
How? By email, by phone, personal conversations, memos?
Senator, I provided them advice in a number of ways.
Including ways that were in writing?
Senator, that's likely. That's likely.
That's likely. That's likely.
Likely?
What a dork.
Isn't that something you'd actually know since it was your advice and you would have written it down?
Dork.
How is that likely? Isn't that yes or no?
Senator, I'd have to go back.
I do not have any records.
Do you swear the testimony you're about?
All right. So you see, these people are just pretty awful. They really are. And Senator Whitehouse, he's so good at what he does. But the Project 2025 people that Trump said, oh, I don't know anything about it, and lied through his teeth because he is such a stinking liar, that orange turd. Anyway, let's move on. So we're moving on to the EPA, and guess what? Guess what? New EPA guidance says spending items greater than $50,000 must get approval from DOGE, the Department of Greedy Elites that has nothing, no official anything. They really aren't. This is just all made up bullshit. And the EPA has issued new guidance directing that spending items greater than $50,000 now require approval, not Congress, which is supposed to do this, but Elon Musk, Department of Government Efficiency, which, as we've seen in the news, is anything but efficient. The guidance this week escalates the role that the new efficiency group known as DOGE plays in EPA operations. Any assistance agreement, contract, or interagency agreement transaction valued at $50,000 or greater must receive approval from an EPA DOGE team member, the guidance says. To facilitate the DOGE team review, EPA staff members have been directed to submit a one-page explanation of each funding action each day, between 3 and 6 Eastern time, the guidance said. It is ludicrous. It's really ludicrous. President Orange Turd has tasked DOGE with digging up what he and Musk call waste, fraud, and abuse, which is so much garbage. Is there waste, fraud, and abuse in every agency? Yes, but there were ways to do internal audits. Like I've told you guys before, I was a federal contractor at the university. We were audited every single year because we had federal contracts. And every federal contracted agency is audited. So this is waste, fraud, and abuse of money now. Again. The Republican turd suggested Thursday that cabinet members and agency leaders would take the lead on spending and staffing cuts, but he said Musk could push harder down the line. I suppose if he keeps blowing up rockets, Yeah, okay. If they can cut it, it's better, Turd said of agency leaders. And if they don't cut, then Elon will do the cutting. But then they backtracked on cutting staff. The EPA did not respond. Of course they're not going to respond to a request because they got rid of anybody decent. Rhode Island Senator Sheldon Whitehouse, the top Democrat on the State Environment and Public Works Committee, called the new directive troubling, adding that it means agency actions, including routine contracts and grant awards, now face unnecessary bureaucratic delays. Absolutely. And spending money that they don't need to. Because, as I told you, all federal agencies are audited when they have a certain amount of money that they get from the government. They all are. And let me tell you something about an audit. When we got audited, the amount of material we had to pull, the amount of information, the amount of grilling from the auditors, it was insane. They meant business. They still do. Nobody needed DOGE. Whitehouse, an outspoken critic of Musk and Trump, said the involvement of Musk's unvetted, inexperienced team raises serious concerns about improper external influence on specialized agency decision-making. Oops. Maybe we should, the AP, maybe we should donate to the AP because they are, they're not taking crap from the orange turd. So White House said that spending actions greater than $50,000 are often complex, and they require specialized knowledge of environmental science, policy, and regulation. So allowing unskilled, clueless morons who self-proclaimed experts not vetted for conflicts of interest to have veto power over funding determinations is inappropriate and risks compromising the agency's mission to protect public health and the environment, which they are no longer going to do. The EPA directive says the new guidance is intended to comply with executive orders issued by the turd that seek to restrict federal spending. Of course. It's really awful. Lee Zeldin is just not qualified. We don't need to be spending all that money that went through the EPA last year. We don't want it. We don't need it. The American public needs it, and we need to balance the budget. Yeah, on all of us, on all of our backs, American taxpayers. Certainly not on the wealthy. Oh, certainly not. So we see that the game playing. This guy, I didn't like him when he ran for governor. He makes me sick. So here's another story. This isn't a public interest. The Supreme Court gets involved, right? And they make it harder for the EPA to police sewage discharges. I mean, okay. The Supreme Court has made it harder for environmental regulators to limit water pollution, but we want clean, beautiful water, according to the orange turd. For San Francisco, in a case about discharge of raw sewage that sometimes occurs during heavy rains. So that's another one. It's just awful. A divided Supreme Court on Tuesday made it harder for environmental regulators to limit water pollution, ruling for San Francisco in a case about the discharge of raw sewage that sometimes occurs. during heavy rains. This stuff is going to happen everywhere. Everywhere. All right? Everywhere. The decision is the latest in which conservative justices have reined in pollution control efforts. It's going to be a long, dirty, ugly 4 years. One conservative, Amy Coney Barrett, joined the court's 3 liberals in dissent. Limits on discharges sometimes don't ensure water quality standards are met, Barrett wrote. She has been a little tricky here. She certainly gave a pretty dirty look to Baturd when he did his hour and whatever, his campaign stop in Washington. And he's so boring. He really is boring. So anyway, this is just another mess. And let's take a look at the EPA, right? Let's look at what's happening on their website. He was sworn in as the EPA administrator. And let's see, environmental topics, laws and regulations, report a violation like they give a shit, and about the EPA. Let's see what they're saying now. What's their mission? What's their mission now? To protect human health and the environment. And we just read that the Supreme Court doesn't care, but EPA works to ensure that Americans have clean air, land, and water. National efforts to reduce environmental risks are based on the best available scientific information. Okay. Now that's a good whopper, considering that it's an anti-science administration that's getting rid of scientists who protested in D.C. And you know what's very upsetting about what happened in D.C.? All the videos on YouTube, they got like views, just hardly any views, because basically no one gives a shit. No one cares. Federal laws protecting human health and environment are administered and enforced fairly, effectively, as Congress intended. Why haven't they changed that to as DOGE intends? And, I don't even want to read it because it's such bullshit. It's bullshit. And they don't want regulations. So learn more about regulations. What regulations? They're going to subvert the regulations. Asbestos? Didn't Trump say the last time he was in office that he wanted to bring asbestos back? So they still have all this stuff here. I'm surprised. I'm really surprised. But their topics, air, emergency. Oh, emergency response? To what? To what? And that's the 2023 report. So that's before, So they actually haven't perverted this website as much. But I just really can't wait to see what happens. They have... That was the 2023 report. I'm sure that they're going to scrub everything for anything DEI. Absolutely. Absolutely. How do you report a violation? Let's see. Does it have it? Oh, fraud, waste, and abuse. Let's see how they say this. They have an OIG hotline. So, I'd like to know all of the freaks that are going to be doing this. Oh my gosh. Inspector General, didn't they? I thought they got rid of them. Office of Inspector General. I don't think any of these people are there. I don't know. We'll have to find out. I don't think that they really changed their website all that much. Contact. All right, we'll see. We will see. Oh, FOIA. Let's see what FOIA requests have been done. And that's the Freedom of Information Act. And let me tell you, the FOIA requests are being fought more now than ever. People have a right to obtain access to federal agency records, except to the extent that such records are protected from public disclosure by one of 9 exemptions. But FOIA is now being foiled. A lot of it. A lot of it. So there's the website. We'll have to see how it expands as we go. All right. And we're going to go back to FEMA because this woman is very upset. And her name, she was a top former FEMA official. She's suing the Turd administration Tuesday, claiming she was unlawfully fired without cause. Last month, Mary Comins, the FEMA's former financial officer, she said Trump officials defamed her and violated the Privacy Act by stating she was fired for help. Oh, my hand hurts from burning it. She was fired for helping disperse federal funds to house migrants in New York City. She was fired following a misleading social media frenzy ignited by billionaire Elon Musk over funds. And let's hear this.
Financial officer at FEMA was fired after Elon Musk alleged that she illegally sent funds to New York City to book luxury hotels for migrants. But in an interview with CBS Evening News co-anchor Maurice Dubois, Mary Comins says she was directed by a member of DOGE to make the payments.
I was directed by the Trump administration and the DOGE team to make that payment.
What if you said, okay, I'm not going to make that payment? How would that have looked? How would that have worked out?
The discussions and the dialogue that I had with the leadership at DHS as well as the DOGE team, they were not looking for our feedback and input. They were directing our action and letting us know what we can and cannot do.
So you're saying this is false. Do you think the administration knows this is false?
That's really a question for the administration.
Do you think they had some other reason for firing you?
I think I was fired for political motivations. What those are really questions both for Secretary Noem and President Trump and Elon Musk. I think it's unfortunate that myself and 3 other individuals were terminated by simply doing what we were told to do.
There was a tweet from the world's richest man, Elon Musk, saying what you did was a criminal action. How'd you take that?
Again, it's hurtful, but I know it's not true. I've done nothing but serve with integrity and honor, and it's unfortunate that words like that can be thrown around without recourse. My name has been slandered. I've been personally attacked. My family has been harassed. And my story is not unique. It is the story of many public servants across the nation today. And at some point, it has to stop.
And Maurice Dubois joins us now. Maurice, what a powerful interview. She said her family has been harassed. Is she receiving threats that lead her to feel that she's in danger?
She certainly is and does feel in danger, Nancy. You saw that passion, that emotion there. Here's somebody who joined DHS in the years after 9/11. She's very passionate about serving her country, and ultimately she becomes the CFO of FEMA, and she thought she was doing the right thing, giving out money to people from disasters, people who needed it. And now she finds herself the target of threats online. She feels she has to change her movements. And as you said there, she feels her family is threatened. She's told the local police department to keep an eye on her and her family. She's that terrified.
And so what does she want to see happen now? Is she going to try to take Elon Musk to court over this?
She is suing DHS. I have the suit here. It's 11 pages, lawsuit. She is alleging that she was illegally fired. She is suing for damages, alleging defamation. She even says she wants her job back. I asked her how much money she wants. She said she wouldn't get into that, obviously, at this point. But she wants her name cleared, and she wants to be made whole again.
one of many lawsuits resulting from these mass firings. Maurice Dubois, thanks so much for bringing that story to us.
All right. Thank you, Maurice.
The chief financial officer.
Thank you. So we see another situation. And don't you think she's the only one? Because the threats are all over. And the news isn't covering everything. Trust me, the news is just not. It's just not. Now we're going to move on to Stacey Abrams because it's all over Twitter. The orange turd lied and blame. He said things that were patently untrue because he's a racist piece of shit. And Stacey Abrams is a public servant. She ran for governor of Georgia twice. She's an amazing person, but because she's an African-American woman, they hate her. All right. So they're going to slam her. Well, I don't know. I'm going to look at it. They fact checking. Now this is from Texas. Fact checking Trump's claim that a group headed up by Stacey Abrams received $2 billion. Okay. So orange turd statement. The administration identified $1.9 billion in federal dollars going to a decarbonization of homes group that Stacey Abrams headed up. During his Tuesday night address to Congress, President Donald Trump called out Stacey Abrams, saying the two-time Democratic candidate for governor headed up a group that was an example of wasteful government spending. Trump listed several federal spending items he characterized as examples of appalling waste. He's an appalling waste. Among them, he said, was $1.9 billion that went to a recently decarbonized homes of the committee headed up as we know she's involved. Just at the last minute, the money was passed over by a woman named Stacey Abrams. Have you ever heard of her? Some people in the crowd booed. The White House did not respond to our request for comment, but Turd appeared to be referencing a grant at the center of a related viral talking point involving Abrams that we recently rated as false. Abrams, an attorney, is a voting rights activist. From March 2023 through the end of 2024, she was senior counsel for Rewiring America, one of 5 groups in coalition that was awarded an Environmental Protection Agency grant. But she did not head up the coalition, and there's no evidence she directly received any of the grant money. So the EPA awarded $2 billion grants for energy efficient housing projects. Turd appeared to be referring to a $2 billion Environmental Protection Agency grant awarded in April 2024 to a coalition of clean energy groups known as Power Forward Communities, and I remember when this happened, to fund energy efficient housing projects around the country. What is wrong with that? Absolutely nothing. A news release announcing a coalition included a phrase similar to language from Trump's speech. A new coalition forms for unprecedented U.S. housing decarbonization. The coalition included Rewiring America and 4 other groups that came together in 2023 to apply for $9.5 billion from the Inflation Reduction Act's clean energy funding. I see nothing wrong with that. I've made my house as clean as I possibly could without any funding. And after what it described as a robust review process, the EPA awarded the grant under then Joe Biden. Now, I can imagine the robust review process because I remember what it was like when we were trying to get certain programs on campus. Peer review. A lot of people want to put down peer review. A lot of people are really anti-science right now. But I can tell you, I'm sure it was quite robust. Power Forward Community said February 24th it was beginning to work on several projects, including energy efficiency upgrades in Clinton, Iowa, a new apartment complex in Detroit, home renovations in Salem, Massachusetts. It said these investments would total about $539 million, or about 27% of the total EPA grant. What is wrong with that? I mean, in New York, we've got bucks for boilers. We're working on a project that would replace oil boilers in old buildings in New York City with heat pumps and new technology that won't be so polluting. Listen, it doesn't matter the bigger picture, in my opinion. It doesn't matter that we are actually pretty screwed environmentally. We are an overshoot. But these people are alive. We are still here. These are good things. What is her connection to power forward communities? There's no evidence that she directly received any of the grant money. And I'm going to play her. Oh, I had her. Wait a minute. Is this? Okay, I have her. We're going to listen to Stacey Abrams herself because she's just really upset. And let's hear her. Let me make sure it's loud enough. And let's hear what she has to say. Okay? Okay. Come on.
Night's State of the Union. President Trump attacked me personally. To be honest, it was unexpected, but not a surprise, because this is exactly what petty tyrants do. But let me be clear. Donald Trump and his lackeys aren't attacking me because I've done something wrong. They're attacking me because I've done something right. Republicans in Georgia and in the White House are terrified of voter engagement and the power of the people. Why? Because they're failing to deliver on their promises to protect and defend Americans. Trump and his complicit Republicans want to distract from their failures by targeting those of us who have the audacity to stand up and demand more. They're scared of us because we actually fight for the people, because we believe in we the people. They're afraid that we will show Americans and the world what's right, not through insult, but through action. And yes, we've taken action. We've registered and turned out thousands of Georgians. We've lowered energy prices for the working class and tackled the climate crisis that is gripping every part of our country. That's why they're abusing their power to come after me, because we've shown we can deliver. Independent fact checkers have repeatedly called these attacks false, but the lies are the point. This isn't a new strategy. It's the common playbook of authoritarians and authoritarians in waiting. And while I might be one of the first targets for their abuse of power, I will not be the last. That's why we must not back down. Our country, our people, and our future are worth fighting for. And as I've always said, when we fight, we win. So how do we fight back in this moment? First, we have to call out lies when they spew them. We can't give them a pass. We have to forcefully, consistently push back. Second, we have to organize. Louder, smarter, and together. They want us silent, discouraged, and divided. Instead, we show up, we mobilize, and we bring more people into this movement to deliver for the people. Third, we engage. They wouldn't work so hard to suppress our voices if our votes didn't matter, so we register, we turn out, and we remind them that the power still belongs to the people and that the government must serve the people, not the other way around. This fight isn't just about me. It's about all of us. And if we stand together, I promise you, we win.
All right. So that's in her own language. All right. That was her own language saying what, defending herself because how disgusting it was that they called her out. And that puts her in danger with these freaks. That puts her life in danger. And she's already been through that. It's just so sad. And I want to move on to the New York Post, which is Rupert Murdoch, who actually took a stand recently to tell the orange turd that he was wrong, but they're still pretty bad. Long Island water companies where the fires were, they are suing to roll back EPA standards on toxic forever chemicals. Isn't that nice? Let me tell you something. We are definitely going to give this article the flush of the day. Yep. Because these are water companies. They're representing many of Long Island's water providers filed a new federal lawsuit this week seeking to overturn the limits established on toxic forever chemicals because they want them, obviously. Cost them money. The new restrictions had set maximum containment levels for 6 groups of PFAS known by critics as forever chemicals, with 2 of the most common limited to 4 parts per trillion, basically 1 drop of water in 20 Olympic-sized pools. The lawsuit is now merged with another case brought by multiple chemical and manufacturing companies who are also seeking to dump and spill and kill. Absolutely. He says, this guy, he's the head of Suffolk County, which just burned up. He said the EPA not following proper guidelines could set a precedent for future contaminants. No, they are seeing opportunity here now to undo all of the good things to protect people that have been done. The EPA website is full of shit. Both groups argue that the EPA didn't follow proper procedures in determining the limits, and the rules will cost companies nationwide billions of dollars per year. Oh, cry me a river. To meet new standards. Meet new standards. This could set a dangerous precedent for future contaminants or anything else the EPA wanted to do. You know what? They're going to win because this is where we are now. PFAS or perfluoroalkyl, I can't ever pronounce it right, polyfluoroalkyl substances are over 14,000 chemicals used in products like non-stick cookware, don't ever use that, and food containers. Also known as forever chemicals, due to their inability to break down, PFAS have been detected in most of Long Island's drinking water. So imagine the water putting out the fires in Long Island. Imagine the water that's going to seep into the soil in the pine barrens that burned up. According to these experts, these chemicals seep into underground water aquifers and are linked to serious health issues such as cancer, organ damage, and infertility when consumed. Where's RFK Jr. on this one, I wonder? Pro-business advocates argue that this deregulation would create more competition and spur economic growth, but some local leaders don't want to roll back standards. Among those opposed to the suit include Nassau Assemblywoman Michelle Solages, who held a water quality town hall for the county on Thursday, so she showed up. This is a public health crisis. The Assemblywoman argues that these year-old guidelines are just beginning. They're just the beginning of what needs to be done to improve Long Island's water quality. So basically, what she's saying is they're basically saying they want to sell poison to American people. So that's what I have on that one. And if just think about this, if this is happening in Long Island, how long is it going to take for all water companies to want to have these rolled back? And you know that Lee Zeldin's going to roll over, and you know that anything that happens, it's going to happen. The next 4 years are going to be hideous. They're going to be hideous. There's one more article I wanted to bring to you, and this was an EPA press list. And the EPA press office fact checks the Washington Post coverage of waste and abuse of taxpayers' dollars. All right, it was chilling. The Washington Post, which I do not subscribe to, has developed into the radical left's own Pravda. It should come as no surprise that they jump to toe the line and are quick to defend the apparent cronyism instead of actually doing the work to investigate on the behalf of the American public. This is the EPA website. The Turd administration, however, is committed to accountability and transparency for the American people. What a joke. The radical left. This, don't forget now, this is the EPA website. The radical left and Washington Post may call the allocation of $2 billion to Power Forward, that's the Stacey Abrams saying, vastly overblown, but the American public doesn't agree. Bullshit. Bullshit. So it's just Biden administration funneled billions of taxpayer dollars to political favorites and groups without checking for more than the thinnest of qualifications. That's bullshit too. So the actual federal agency is calling out a news organization because they won't ask the tough questions, you know? And that's what I showed you Stacey Abrams is responding to, because it's an assault on her. And I don't even want to read the whole thing, but it was interesting because a lot of people were very upset about this, you know? Yeah, all the official websites have become overly Trumpified. People are upset. None of these people in this administration should be anywhere near power. They are not fit for this purpose. But what the whole point is that this guy is saying is that nothing can prepare you for an EPA press release because it doesn't sound like an EPA press release. So that's basically what I have for you today, which is a lot of stuff. And what's the one notification? Is this what Kelly did? Oh, jeez, Kelly. Thanks a lot. Making my big mouth. All right, I'll have to like it. This is fine. Kelly, you're pretty funny. That was really good. Oh, jeez. Thank you. Kelly, that's cute. All right, so we're going to go back to the main window. And I don't think I have any more videos. Oh, I actually did have one I wanted to show you, but I don't think it really goes with today's work. I don't know. But what we're going to do now is we're going to go into something lovely behind me. And we can look at sunflowers, and we can look at your comments, and hopefully you guys understand, you know, that this administration is so full of shit. It's just overwhelming. But that's what they want. I fall into it. I can't help it. I'm a political beast too. And they want chaos. They want to sow chaos. They want Americans upset. They want Americans fearful and scared so they can rob us blind and they can amass their fortunes. Sandy, I need this as a recording because I'm getting ready for work. I want to hear it and read all these sources again. And thank you. I love you, Karen. Karen is such a wonderful person. Everybody here is amazing. So Trump wants to move the Canadian border, UK here, move it south to incorporate Sandy's Coffee House. Yay! Yes, I'm actually, 85, 90 miles south of Canada. Bring Buffalo, bring my part of Western New York into Canada. I would be very, very happy. Okay, enjoy your day. Enjoy your day. Maybe it's a better idea that I don't play this, but I really do want to play this. Let me see if I can pull this in because I wanted to play this and it just shows the depravity. And this is actually, it's Sunday. So I'm going to pull this in. We're going to play it. It's depraved, but it shows the depravity.
It almost needs to be struck from the Christian vocabulary.
It does.
Empathy
yes.
is dangerous. Empathy is toxic. Empathy will align you with hell.
Absolutely.
Sympathy, compassion,
There you go.
yes. Empathy, deadly and dangerous. And this will be controversial.
Today is Sunday.
Women are
It's church
especially
day.
vulnerable to this.
Absolutely.
In our churches, women will have empathy for the sinner. They'll have empathy for the rebel. They'll have empathy for the toxic sick person who's gossiping and slandering and being bullied by the spiritual authority of the church. And in their empathy, they'll align with those who are misaligned with God. One of the patterns that we've seen in 25 years of church ministry, the most divisive households are those households where there is a loud, aggressive, Jezebel spirit wife paired with a weak, passive Ahab beta male. Not ungodly for a man to speak into who his wife is friends with.
Absolutely.
Happy
who she
Sunday.
can hang out with,
Who she's following.
who she listens to. Because a husband and wife have to be united. Now, I'm not chasing Sharon around policing her friends because my wife is godly and she wants nothing to do with the ungodly. But I'm telling you, women can be vulnerable to friendships and history and whatever, and it's a husband's job to go, babe, let's stay on the same page here. We don't participate in, spread, have ears for gossip or slander, and that person regularly does that.
That's pretty disgusting. I think it's quite gross. So I felt like, well, I had to show. I definitely had to show that. I'm glad I did, because these people are, they think empathy is dangerous. Okay. So happy Sunday. And they, of course, they never talk about the sheer amount of clergy that have been arrested and prosecuted for diddling kids. I never talk about that, because it's all they're all hypocrites. And yesterday was International Women's Day. And you know what? I should have brought this picture up too, which I'm going to bring up. Why not? Hang on. I'm going to bring up a picture from yesterday that I had found. And here it is. International Women's Day. Yep. This is what they want us to be. Statue of Liberty is just, she's freaking out. They want us to stay in ragtag, pregnant, barefoot, in your place, with no empathy. This is exactly what they want. And you know, it's very scary that a lot of them seem to be making headway. Yeah. Hi, Ernie. Empathetic Canadian here. Love you all. Love you all. Exactly. And Catholics, don't forget them. It's all religions, really. Yeah, that's right. I admit it, though. I admit that I am part of the outrage machine, but I like everybody that is part of it, you think you're on the right side. And I know I'm on the right side. Not on the right side, the correct side. Because we all should be actually outraged, but not outraged like they've been building us up to be outraged in MAGA, but outraged because we are being marginalized. The racism is over the top. The hatred. This fucker says empathy is a bad thing, telling the woman. Oh my God. Just sick. Let me thank you for, Nadia. Nadia. If it wasn't for Nadia, there's a plague afoot, measles. Getting revaxxed is a good idea, but is enough. It's the fastest spreader, mutates fast, mask up people, M95 and equivalent. You know, I was reading about that last night to see at my age, but I was double measles vaccinated according to my mother, and they said that's fine. That's fine. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. There's a real discussion to be had about problems with peer review. However, the zone is so flooded with shit-style, Bannon-style discussion can't be had. Exactly. There's always been issues. But, internally, organizations, universities, documents, journals, there's some good journals and there's some full of shit journals. But it usually self-corrects. And I would say I'm sorry. As a former academic working in it, I'm not going to say that it was a perfect process, but I'm also not going to rip it to shreds. I'm in no position to rip it to shreds. Nadia. Being Latin American, I may too blithely just write it all off as another Pinochet or Videla or Medici, but maybe having laughed already injures me too much. Oh, sweetheart, thank you for your super chats. Is not enough. Sorry about the typo. She's so generous. You're extremely generous. Thank you, Nadia, because you are like amazing, and thank you. You really helped the channel. All right. Pissed off with purpose works. Cyclical, helpless, outrage doesn't. Oh, I'm nothing. I'm not helpless. Oh, which monkey are we feeding? I know which monkey they are. Maybe we can find a way to elevate. Doubt it, but worth noting. I don't know if I can or not. We shall see. We shall see. I fall right into the same outrage machine. I try not to let it affect me too badly. Yes, my health is, I'd say since November, I have not been well, and I am having surgery Tuesday. Well, the trick is that even though there are things to say about the peer review process, the hordes of anti-science freaks make the discussion impossible to have. And it's really sad, and I think it is quite scary. I do. So let me look back for some, I know Loie had a, did Loie had, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's how a lot of us feel. That's Looney Tunes, but I thought Loie had something. Yeah. Yeah, wait, where are you? Where, there's some more. Yeah, so we want to control them. That's what that guy was saying. It's like, he doesn't want a wife that controls him. And the problem is that all the wishy-washies, yeah. No, I know you're not. I'm in the same boat, being run by the same frustration. I'm wondering what route doomers can take given these endless insults. Hell if I know. Just keep talking. Keep having conversations. Keep doing things like you and Karen do for the support community of post-doom. You know, I'm just having outpatient abdominal surgery. Remember, I was in the hospital for peritonitis, and I got to clean up some scar tissue. Basically, that's it. And it'll probably make me feel a whole lot better, according to the doctor. So, yeah, it would be great. Hello, where is my dog's Argoth? I saw you here somewhere. Hi, my dog's Argoth. Okay. She agrees with Karen. It's great. It's great. I said it again. I've got to I'm going to do diction lessons. Yeah, of course he's part of a religious cult. They're all over. And they think that the orange turd is their savior. And he lies about God all the time. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Thank you for the super chats again. Loie was furious at that guy. Okay, we'll flush the non-empathetic guy who thinks women are, well, putting women in their place. Bye-bye. Yes. Oh my goodness. There are gifted super chats. Look at that. Thank you, Jordan. I did a members only yesterday. He gifted memberships. I did a members only yesterday, by the way, guys. And I managed to talk for an hour without taking a breath. Oh my goodness. You had 2 pounds of scar tissue removed. I was only, yes, exactly my problem. Plus, yes, that's what's going on. So I'm going to be so much better. I am so looking forward to feeling better. But it's so funny how it correlates that November was when I really, really started feeling lousy, right when the election happened. Now, remember, correlation is not causation. So, of course, not. Hey, look at that. See Michelle Sparks. I don't even think she's here, but I know I know her. I know she's not here, but look at that. I hope these people come because I'm going to do more. Look at Tavi, you come. Good for Gabby. All right. This is awesome. This is just really, really wonderful. Thank you. I will be doing more members only because I really do like them. I do like doing it because yesterday I could just rant and do what I want to do and not have to worry about the whole world, hearing what I have to say to my members. All right. So do we have anything else? Of course, I've gone over the hour. The chat is working and I'm frozen. I don't see I'm frozen anywhere on my screens. Susan, I'm sorry. I'm not frozen. Why don't you just put your little round thing? The video's fine. I would know. Yeah. Israel is cutting electricity off to Gaza. Whole other show. I can't stand it. We cut off Ukraine so Russia can go right over Ukraine into Europe, but Israel's cutting off. I had this discussion about life, and what happened October 7th is absolutely horrible in Israel. Okay. Killed people on the kibbutzes, which are really the socialist experiments of intentional living that work. But why are Israeli lives worth more than Palestinian lives? I keep asking this question. It's just absolutely horrible. It is absolutely. Hi, who killed Bambi? Well, not me anymore. My ex-husband did. Yeah, none of that. Before the editorial review aspect of the process was instituted as part of the post-Sputnik boom in government science funding, wanting accountability, etc., that was a different issue. Let me tell you something. In Russia, they still respect scientists. They still fund science. We just can't work with Russian scientists because Putin is a madman, and he ruined it for us. And we used to collaborate with Russian scientists all the time, wonderful. Hi, Channel Warhorse. It's nice to see you. And it is definitely nice. It's global. It's always nice to see you. TR, yeah, more rules for thee, not me. That's right. Like yesterday, go back. If you're a member now, watch my show yesterday because I talked about the words. And the title is I Feel Very Luigi Today, which is a word now you can't even use on Reddit. Pretty soon you won't be able to use the words climate change on your YouTube thumbnail. Oh, mark my words, it's coming. Forever, how long we're even going to be able to do this if it's not stopped? I mean, the media is not showing the protests all over the United States. All over. Everywhere. And the big science one, which was attended, I'd say quite well, it was covered. But again, like I said, the amount of people watching on YouTube that I noticed was so small. If you have, again, the outrage machine, people want to watch anything. It's like they want to watch the car wreck. They want to slow down and they want to gawk at the car wreck, which is happening all over. But when you have proactive stuff like the science protests, well, boring. Doesn't mean anything. And I can really criticize some channels on the left and the right because climate and environment and overshoot is very, very sparsely covered. I cover it. I don't even have 5,000 subscribers on this channel. Is it me? Is it because of ageism? What is it? I like to be creative. I'm different. I don't do everything that every other YouTuber does. I say that all the time. Yeah, climate Gestapo next week. Russia is working at ruining the reputation of scientists here in Canada. Disinformation often starts there, my opinion. Probably does, but they still it's what's good for, they want to do it to other countries, but they still have their Russian scientists that are working on a lot of projects there. Yep. Yeah, exactly. Intelligentsia doesn't sell. I mean, I often think about this, 8 years of this, and I've had scores of scientist interviews, and Jennifer and I did shows on Friday. I'm not whining. I mean, it could be me. Maybe people don't like me, and that's okay. Not everybody's going to like you. I have long shows. I don't play the YouTube game. I do try to go out there. I send out an email list. I do what I do. That's it. I'm not looking for 100,000 people. I'm not looking to make a living. Although if they cut off Social Security disability, there's a lot of us that are going to be in big trouble. Absolutely big trouble. Another one. The media blackout equals USA. Is the real North Korea. Probably. Absolutely. Yep. Okay, listen. What I'm going to do is gift some memberships myself. There's a few people I will gift memberships to, okay? And what did you say? I said it again. See, now I'm going to be all hung up on the word because I did watch a video, one of those YouTube gurus telling you, don't use because it's just filler. But it's my brain catching up. Sorry. It's an older brain. It has to catch up. My channel is too informative for most people. I think it's top-notch contests, well-researched and produced. Thank you. That's very, very nice. Thank you very much. Yay. Okay, thank you. Yep. And so, yes, okay. I don't sound whiny even when I'm whining. Yesterday I did a little bit, but I know I faced age discrimination and I'm just over AARP age. I was refused jobs. Oh, it happens. I mean, I'm an older female, I mean, maybe I look halfway okay. My hair isn't totally fallen out yet. But the whole thing is there is age discrimination. There always has been. Some channels, though, are niche channels and they get a lot of views, but, they're talking about surface topical bullshit. And it's very hard for me to do that. I can't imagine anyone other than fascists doesn't like me. Okay, that's all right. Listen, yeah, people want mindless entertainment, and I could do that. I could just put up the tripod, and I say this all the time. I have all these cats. One of them is dying, which made me late because it's weird. I'm looking at the disease he has. He bleeds out of the mouth at night, but not during the day. He's not eating. He goes to the vet tomorrow, and I have to make a decision. He's 17 years old. And I also just got him in November. If you lose SSI, I lose Section 8 at the same time because I won't be able to pay for rent. It's horrible to make Americans feel like this. And Bernie Sanders, by the way, has been, and here's another thing. I'm going to tell you what pisses me off. I love him because he's making the rounds. He is filling arenas, okay? He's filling arenas, and he is really making the points that everybody should understand. The same ones he was making during 15 and 16. And Midas Touch Network, they have some good content. They played a Bernie Sanders piece yesterday. Let me see if I have that picture. I might as well just keep talking because I'm not going to be doing another show for a week. I'll open this. Hang on. Let me see if I can get this opened, and we'll look at this. So he's doing the Fight the Oligarchy tour. All right. And Midas Touch, they got probably, 600, maybe more, 700,000 views. But it really, I can't help but feel like some of it is such bullshit, because a lot of the same people that watch Midas Touch Network are the same people back in 2015 and 16 that ignored Bernie and that called us Bernie bros. All right. I posted about this yesterday. And even some center left commentators were still using the term Bernie bros not that long ago. And all of a sudden now he's the sweetheart. You know, when we could, and you can't look back and you can't make changes, but woulda, coulda, shoulda hasn't happened. But because of what the DNC did by squelching Bernie Sanders, and I've said this before, how in Erie County, New York, in the Buffalo headquarters, they wouldn't even put up anything that Bernie was running against Clinton. Nothing. The Clinton machine was powerful and had the money. And I sent plenty of $27 donations, right? And I went to Philadelphia, and I was I wasn't inside, I wasn't a delegate, but I was there, and I interviewed people, and you goddamn right. And I saw what happened. But I also saw why some people went to Trump. And that's what pisses me off about those commentators that see that. Now, I'm not talking about Jimmy Dore. I fucking hate him, all right? I'm not talking about that ilk. I'm talking about the rank and file that were disgusted at what happened to Bernie Sanders. And, but that's wrong. You're wrong. How did he betray us? He's had the same message. Steve. So to me, you're full of shit. But I'm still your friend, and we can agree to disagree. I don't know how he betrayed us. By what? Sticking to the same message? Yeah. And there you are. Where are you? Woulda, coulda, still pissed at the DNC for squelching Bernie. That's right. I don't know if anybody can get over it. But the people that went to Trump did so, mistakenly, because they hated the DNC and they hated Clinton. And of course, there was a concerted effort to make everybody hate Clinton. There was, because we've been manipulated for so long. But it just speaks of a bit of hypocrisy that those same people are now cheering him on that called us Bernie bros and socialists and put us down. That's it. That's all I want to say. Thomas, we can agree to disagree, but Bernie didn't let me down. So that's propaganda bullshit you're being fed. And I don't know who you're being fed by, but I'll have to look at the Facebook page, because I'm still on your Facebook page, because your Facebook page was actually mine, and it was called Bernie Babes back then. Okay? So I don't know. I don't know what the bullshit is. That's another concerted effort by who? To undermine Bernie Sanders and to make him look bad and put him down when he's had a consistent message all this time? Don't even get me started on the 10 pasty white idiots that voted for censuring Al Green, because I could go on and on about that. Okay. So what? What was he supposed to do? He has class. Okay? What was he supposed to do at that time? We didn't like that Joe Biden was the nominee. There were other people. But I'm sorry. I don't agree with you. And it's fine. You can feel that way. Oh, wait a minute. I don't think it's your channel. Your channel is not Revolution Evolution. That's a different guy. But you're hanging on to shit that's counterproductive. It's okay to be upset with the DNC because they basically suck, right? But to hang on to hating Bernie because he did what he thought was right for the United States, which is all he ever does. And now that, I'm sorry, they're just hypocrites, but I'm just glad, I'm just glad. And he's not. It's funny how Bernie is considered radical when he's the equivalent of one of our mainstream political parties in Canada. And Steve, forgive me for mixing you up with the other guy from Revolution Evolution. But I don't know. I think you follow a bit of a different bunch of line of bullshit than I do. You know, maybe I'm full of shit. But when people say that, I just really want specifics. What else did you want, you know? We've been living through 10 years of misinformation, disinformation. Yeah. Yeah. Well, we know that. Anyway, he's not. He's the equivalent of one of our mainstream parties in Canada. He's not radical. He's right. Healthcare for all and all of that. So that's how I'm going to end, you know, saying that, Steve, we've known each other a long time. I don't know who you are following or who is, I don't know any of it, but I don't feel that way. And I am, again, sorry I mixed you up with the channel. Okay? All right. Fact check. Joe Biden is not Bernie's good friend. But you know, on the face, at the time, there were certain things that had to be done. And now look where we are. Look where we are. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I'm going to say goodbye for today. And take diction lessons. How do I not say Hey, listen, thank you for all of the beautiful super chats that really help. Hello, Darlene. Darlene, don't forget Fukushima is approaching. We won't. We can never forget Fukushima. Fukushima started the destruction of the planet. Well, it was one of the things that started the destruction of the planet. We can never forget that. Never, ever forget that. So I want to tell you I love you all and thank you very much. I won't be here next week. I'm going to try to take the time off from social media to heal. Read my ham radio book. I have a couple of other books. I want to learn how to be a ham operator. And try not to be on social media. Maybe a couple of shorts so you all know that I didn't die. I'm so morose. Yeah, right. You're right. It's true. But you're talking about in huge millennial time scales, you know? Yeah. All right, guys. Love you all. Na 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 na. Thank you. Peace out. I burnt my hand and it hurt. I had to go get the ice pack. Peace, guys. Love you. Thomas, I'm sorry. You are the one I mixed up, and you have Evolution Revolution, not Steve Wolfbrand. I'm very, very sorry, and I did not mean to disparage your page at all. So accept my apology.